All right. Hello, everyone. This is Comforting Cantrips. It is session number 9, I think, by the looks of it, and we are getting started. To just a quick warning before we get into character introductions. Uh, Everything Audios is currently in a restaurant, so they can hear us and they might send stuff to the Discord that we will relay to all of y'all. But for now, they are not going to be able to speak. So they will be joining us later, but just they are not going to be able to speak for a second. Alrighty, take it away, Jack.
This suit of armor, goggles on his head, an annoyed look on his face.
Hello, I am Zeta Audio, the changeling bard. I am Zeta Audio. I am not a changeling bard. I am a voice actor who plays a changeling bard.
You heard it here, folks, everyone. Zeta Audio is in fact a changeling bard, and he's been tricking us this entire time. This was all one elaborate scheme.
I play Kel, the changeling bard, and I've already spent enough time on this intro, so I'll pass it along.
This would normally be where everything goes. Hi, I'm Everything Audios. I play the idiot with the phone and yada yada, Tempest, yada yada, other things. And moving on.
Hello, I'm Mento Audio. I play Nooks Evergreen. They're the only one left that hasn't been introduced, and I don't know what else to say about them. They're a Wood Elf Warlock. That intro went to shit.
Alrighty, Jack, would you be kind enough to redo your intro? For some reason, my audio acted up, and the audience only got to hear half of your intro. So could you just say it one more time?
Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Jack of Lantern Audio. I play Muradin Ironhammer, Mark of Warding Dwarf Artificer. He's the little dwarf at the front, red hair, goggles on his head, annoyed look on his face. That's me.
Alrighty, so sorry about the audio troubles this morning, everyone. I was trying to get it so my love and I could both be in the same room, so we were messing with some microphones and stuff, so my audio settings got a bit mixed up. They are actually upstairs in the same house. They are visiting me at the moment. It is lovely. We are having a great time. But getting into the wonderful game of UDA. Last we left off, our wonderful adventurers. I'm gonna stop saying wonderful. Our brave adventurers had gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble. You see, they had visited the manor of Fizbin, the wonderful, the amazing. I said I'd stop saying wonderful. God dang it. They went into the manor of Fizbin on a field trip with Dave, the wonderful Dave. I j-
Can I take over?
You know what? You know what? Jack, you do the recap. I'm gonna go sit in a corner.
But yeah, we went to the manor of Fizbin. He's a kooky old mage who's friends with metallic dragons who are friendly and wise. Anyway, Draco Shadowheart, one of the NPCs we're not friends with, more like awkward acquaintance slash frenemies, but he wanted to steal the heart of a Draco Lich that our friend Fizbin had on his property, and he roped Kel into doing it. Burden and Tempest unsuccessfully tried to stop him. They broke into the vault. They got into a tussle with the dragonborn inside. Broke the ceiling on the Draco Lich's heart so it reconstituted itself. And we had another big old fight. But the long and short of it is, Bisbin, well, he was cool about it, but the headmaster sentenced all of us to detention on an exam day, no less. And he was very mean about it. And while we don't have all the details, he's apparently got Draco doing some very dangerous necromancy project, which he needed the heart for, and that's why he's tried to steal it. So now we are on detention doing a favor for Fizbin by trying to wipe out a goblin hydra cult, which
You
we
were on
did.
detention. You already finished that up. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the point is, we did that, we killed the hydra, and we got some spiffy new magic items, including a huge ring with a furry inlet and a couple of possums, I think, on
I
the
think
crest.
they're ferrets.
Anyway, it's a ring of warmth. It gives resistance to cold damage and protects you from minus 35 degrees of cold temperatures along with all your equipment. So
Mhm.
that's fun.
So, let's get started then. So that is the recap. You guys are back in school. You all wake up to a knock on the door.
Okay.
Bear, as he is usually the first one up in the morning, goes and answers it. Um, you hear someone talking to Bear and some papers being exchanged before Bear puts said papers on the coffee table.
Burden walks up to Bear and says, "My friend, who was that? What did they want with us?"
Um, Bear will sign some stuff at you. You recognize delivery and teacher in that, and the rest of it is too fast for you to recognize.
Okay, I guess Murden will then take a look at the papers to see what they had in mind.
All right. The papers, there's one for each of you. It's basically a notice that your exam date has been taken over by your artificer teacher, um, the dwarf, and will be held a few days from now, because everyone in the school has been invited to a museum trip in Sharn.
Ooh, with Dave.
No,
Oh.
actually, Dave is not doing this field trip. There are field trips outside of Dave. Y'all understand that, right? None of
Oh,
Dave's
wow.
are planned by the school.
So is this Rolb's plan or
No,
Ironwood?
this was actually an invitation directly from the owner of the museum to the headmaster, inviting the school. The owner of the museum just recently opened the museum, and he wants the students. He's invited a few other colleges so far, but he today he has invited you.
Yeah,
So classes have been temporarily suspended so that the school can go visit this new museum.
okay, I guess Murden will go knock on the others' doors to wake them up and let them know.
Museum.
Um, sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying museum, excitedly.
Nooks kind of has the same reaction. Very excited puppy like.
Yes, perhaps not the first museum I've ever gone to, but I imagine for you this is a new experience.
Yeah.
Actually, they do have a museum down in Lower
Oh.
Dura. Uh, there is
Well,
a
then,
small museum and memorial for the fallen tower, um, but it is very small and very run down.
Slums of the slums and all that.
Yeah, but they have a
yeah.
museum.
Yeah, well,
Um,
has it been this high end though?
no. So speaking of this museum, none of you are super familiar with it outside of maybe an ad or two you've seen. Um, you don't know who owns it. You just know that a new museum opened up in Upper Sharn a little while ago.
Yeah.
Do we
Um,
know what kind of museum it is? Like what kind of stuff it's got?
it boasts artifacts. There's been a few boasts of artifacts from the war on the ad. There's also been some like it's been called a cultural museum. Um,
Okay.
Ooh.
the ads tend to go between the greatest cultural museum in Sharn to see the aftermath of the war or relics from the war, like things like that.
Yeah.
I see.
So well, with nothing else pressing to see to, I guess we'll just get ready, put our best clothes on. You know that.
Did you ever buy nice clothes for the Fine Arts Society?
Uh, he got that one cloak that one time.
Do you just wear that to all the Fine Arts Society things?
I assume he's got fancy clothes at some point.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. He's got so you've got nice clothes. I was just sitting there like I don't remember you ever like having fancy clothes.
DM, while they're all getting ready, I meant to ask this last session, is there a way Nooks can kind of like hang the dragon scale she got like on a necklace of some sorts?
Uh, um, so I think you're misunderstanding how large a dragon scale is. This is something that's about the size of a dinner plate.
Okay, never mind. I thought dragon scales were tiny. Okay, my bad.
No, they are when they're young. So wormlings have the type of scales you're thinking of, but
Oh,
these
okay.
are these scales get to the size of dinner plates when they get old enough, and you got one from an ancient dragon. So
I don't know. Traditional scales are tiny.
there's also not many large lizards nowadays.
Fair.
So yeah. All right. So uh, yeah. So that scale usually has to go into a backpack or something to carry around. All right. So the school is separated by year. So the first, the second, the third, and the fourth years are all separated out. Each of you will be taking a different uh, sky coach. These are rather large sky coaches, but definitely still in the size coach category of size.
Yeah, not sky buses,
No, those things are meant for like cross continental journeys.
which we have been on a few times.
Yeah, you've been on sky buses
Yeah.
twice. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, before so the fourth, the third, and the second years have already left by the time that the headmaster comes up to your year. Um, in that time, you see everyone just kind of mills about in the area that you guys were sent to kind of wait. Um, Draco has stayed pretty far away from y'all. He seems to be hanging out with two others, one of which is a very think manic pixie dream girl, but it's a dude, and that's one of the people, and the other person is a young halfling who wears some form of a crown, and you're not sure what that's about, but they have it.
Okay.
Um,
So,
but the three of them seem to be staying kind of away from you guys.
hmm, I find this very interesting, but also suspicious.
I mean, to be fair, Draco did say last time they were going to try and stay away from you, so this is to be slightly expected.
Yeah.
Oh, not that. More so just Like, who are these people and why is he hanging out with them? We've never met them before.
Fair. Um, so what? Do y'all do anything before the headmaster gets there, or are we just waiting?
Uh, Pretty sure Kel's just waiting. He's just doing his usual playing about with his loot stuff.
Suppose Merlin will just, in character, he's not fond of Draco. He'll keep an eye on him, but otherwise just stick with the existing party for now.
Cool, cool. All right. The headmaster eventually arrives. Oh, and just so y'all know, Bear is hanging out with the other Hazrak players at the moment. So, headmaster arrives. Hello, students. I am glad to see that you are all well and good. We have had a surprisingly low number of dropouts this year. Usually, about half of the class would have dropped out by now, or died, on the rare occasion. But I am glad to see that you are all still well and on your way to being true adventurers. Now, I think that it is time for you all to get the normal lecture for this type of thing. Now, I know that some of your class has been on unplanned field trips with Dave. Trust me, I've talked to him twice at this point about that. But these sorts of field trips are slightly different. When you are within Sharn, you are representing this college, this fine university. And as such, I expect you all to be on your best behavior. Now, the person who invited us is an old friend of the council, and that is why he invited us so soon after opening. We will have the museum to ourselves today. Take that as a wonderful gift to you young minds. There will be multiple there will be multiple guides within the museum that will be helping the other schools, but for you first years, the museum owner himself will be escorting us around and talking about some of the different exhibits. He has already said that he will answer any questions of yours, so I expect you all to ask intelligent questions.
Hmm.
Now, are there any questions before we set off?
Okay, I would love to make some kind of smart aleck question, but no, not after we just got back from being put on detention and are probably on thin ice right now.
Well, if there are no questions, then we shall move on. Everyone get into the sky coach. I will be journeying with you today. I will be your chaperone, so do not try anything. And he leads you all to the sky coach. This is the largest of the four because your year is the largest of the 4 years. And very shortly, the sky coach sets off. You travel past a few bridges, moving in and out of different lanes, avoiding other sky coaches, the normal thing. You see at least one person falling as you pass by. Luckily, they stop fairly quickly, so you think that either someone caught them or they have a featherfall token.
Yeah, I have one of those myself.
Mhm. You finally arrive. You are the last of the 4 years to arrive, as you were the last one to get instructed by the headmaster. And you sit down. The other three sky coaches have already left, and the other years have already entered inside. The museum looks pristine. You can very much tell that it is new. It has a fountain at the center of the plaza before the museum that has a wonderful display of uh, marble work. Uh, Clear crystal water spews out of the mouth of a dragon that is wrapped around a center spire. It's a truly beautiful display of intricate and clean marble work. Standing next to the fountain is a. At first, you think he is an older man, but you very quickly come to see that that is not because of age, but because of wariness on the face. This is a middle aged man who has seen much in his life. And he looks at you. He's a gnome, so he's about half the size of most of you. And he looks up to you and he goes, "Ah, it is wonderful to see that you all have made it here safely. Ah, and Headmaster, I was wondering which class that you would be coming with. I assume that you are all the first years?
Yep.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, feel free to amble around the plaza for a second. Me and the headmaster have just a little bit to talk about before we get started, and then I will be giving you a tour of the museum. Feel free to get any questions ready. I will answer them throughout the tour. And him and the headmaster step off to the side and talk for a little bit. If you want to do anything while you're in the plaza, you can feel free, or you can just wait until the tour is ready.
So I'm assuming we're allowed to wander around this kind of space, like not wander far off, but like
Mm-hmm.
the space we're kind of in. So Nux will just do that, just taking in everything, kind of
All right.
very small.
This museum is built into the side of one of the towers in Upper, and is very clearly meant to be accessed by Skycoach. You can see that there is a staircase leading to another set of platforms that stretches out to what looks to be kind of a residential area below this museum. Um, but it's very clear that the way you are supposed to get in and out is by Skycoach. The stairs seem to have been there more for city ordinance than anything else.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, Muradin will sort of take in the dragon statue, probably thinking about what happened the last few days. What a mixed bag of an experience it was. Because we did get to meet some nice dragons, but oh boy.
That is very fair. Alright. Kel, do you do anything?
Cal's probably just gonna like sit by the fountain, uh,
Alrighty.
and just sort of absorb the scenery.
Wonderful. Everything looks just very nice. You still aren't quite used to just getting to walk around upper, just the view of looking up and seeing the sky and looking down and seeing all of these different levels and homes and businesses and everything else below you is still kind of a bit much.
That's under, yeah, yeah.
But the statue or the fountain is nice, and sitting next to it is definitely calming. Eventually, the gnome and the headmaster seem to finish talking, and the gnome comes over to you. Alright. Well, it feels like that I should give you a bit of introduction to myself before we get started. I am a Isidora Took. You can call me Mr. Took. I was a long time veteran of the last war. I led part of the army of the Brelands in the shifting alliances and all of that sort of thing. I was a general, and during my time, I came across many relics and treasures during the war, which I took upon myself to get out of harm's way and bring back to this museum. So, That is my background. Before that, I was a city guard, so I know the ins and outs of the city pretty well. So if you need to know where a good coffee shop is, you can also ask me that. Uh, why don't we get started? Come right this way, and it leads you to the entrance of the museum.
Yeah, I guess we'll all follow. Unless probably not anything dramatic gonna happen just yet.
Yeah,
Not,
I doubt I'm going to be roped into stealing something again.
and at
Sure
that moment,
hope
no, I'm
not.
kidding. All right. So as you enter, the doors open, um, and you enter into a main entryway. Uh, uh, Besides the ticket counters and such, which you walk past, this main entryway has signs pointing to many different exhibits. Some of them named after great events, some of them named after cultures and places. But on a uh, right below or right above the a map of the museum, you see this great expansive map of Khorvaire, which is the continent that you are on. Eberron is the world, Khorvaire is the continent.
DM, is there any possibility you can type that in chat because I'm taking notes?
Khorvaire. Or
Okay,
probably
when we have
Khorvaire then.
Yeah.
Ho. You know what? I'm gonna take my best guess. I'll know how it sounds.
Yeah.
I'll know what it's saying at least.
hmm So Khorvaire. The map of Khorvaire seems to be fairly recent. It was handmade, but it seems to have been fairly recent as the Mournlands is not referenced as, um, you know, purely Kyre or Seer. It is referenced as the Mournlands.
Boy, that brings bad memories.
hmm and those of you who are familiar with the map very quickly figure out where Sharn is on it, right smack dab in the center of the Bree lands. At which point, the gnome turns back and goes, "This is a map of the most recent borders of Khorvaire. As you all probably know, as many of you would have been, or probably all of you would have been born before the end of the war, Khorvaire was for quite a while in a long war spanning the entirety of the continent. Uh, Afterwards, the continent of Khorvaire was split up into many different kingdoms, such as the Brelands and all that sort of thing. It was all cemented in the treatise that was signed afterwards. And there are some unofficial kingdoms, such as the Demon Wastes and the Hag controlled areas around here, where he points out one of the different uh, when he points to Drome on the left side of the map. But outside of that, most of the kingdoms on this map are cemented in the treatise. Do you have any questions about the map before we move on? I think our first exhibit is some dwarven craftsmanship from the Moorholds.
Ah, yes, moorholds. I am quite familiar with those.
Alrighty. Well, if there are no questions, let's get moving. Alright. Now, do we have anyone here who knows about the Moorholds?
Would Nooks know anything about that? DM?
No. That is not very near your ancestral homelands. So, I don't believe the Moorholds are. I may be
Can
going
you
insane.
spell that?
Could I make like an insight check to see?
Uh,
Maybe.
Probably not. You're not exactly
Oh,
a geography buff.
fair.
What were you saying?
Uh, oh. MRO or. Oh, I was just looking it up.
Yeah, Mror holds. Mror.
Yeah, it's where dwarves come from in this setting.
Um, this whole museum trip isn't both an adventure and a way for me to get you guys to know the location of Khorvaire better. Totally not. Um,
Hmm.
all right, so he looks out over, and you see a few dwarves and a few other people raise their hands when he asks if anyone knows anything about the Moror holds.
Yeah, Meriden would have heard about that from his parents, I assume.
Yeah, it was part of your education. At which point he goes, "Wonderful to hear. The Moror holds are one of the dwarven holds that have been regained in the past few years, although they aren't completely taken back yet. Still fighting off the Dalekeer, which, for those of you who have not met one yet, they are kind of demonic-looking insectoid buggers who are not exactly the most friendly. Luckily, most of the war was fought away from their area, so I didn't have to dance with too many of them. But the Muror holds are well known for two different things. Their dwarven craftsmanship, as seen in this helm here. It's a helm of telekinesis created by an older dwarven craftsman. And this right here, a symbiote. And you see a severed hand with a tentacle appendage growing out from it. These symbiotes are taken from Delkir technology, refined by the dwarves, and are a controversial topic in modern dwarven politics. The symbiotes are a very impressive weapon, and it makes some impressive weapons and armor, and even some impressive tools. But the problem with them is they are a living creature and do come from the Delkir technology, so there are many dwarves who do not trust them and prefer to trust their own craftsmanship. But I am not someone who's going to speak on the politics. I just remember fighting the dwarves, some of the dwarves of the Muror holds, and having to go up against a few of these bad boys, and they are not exactly friendly. Speaking of which, this arm and symbiote was actually a trophy from a battle at the Muror holds way back when. I was given it after the battle, after it was found on the battlefield by a good friend of mine. I would have removed the arm, but then the symbiote would have died, and that makes it very hard to preserve. Do we have any questions about the Mror holds, the symbiotes, or dwarven craftsmanship while we are here?
I have a question.
Yes.
That arm, is the creature it's attached to still alive?
It is
Is
being held in a state of paralysis, but symbiotes are still alive. But the symbiote is still alive. It can't really think like a person could. It's not really sitting there going, "Why am I frozen?" It's a purely instinctual creature, which is the only reason that it works within as weapons or armor, is you can form the instincts to do what you wish. Good question, though. Uh,
you keep it shielded, right? It's not going to tempt one of us to steal it and attach ourselves to it.
They don't have telepathy, no, and trust me, this glass is pretty thick, and we do have security, so it'd be kind of hard to break in the middle of the day to break the glass and grab at it. And even if you did, this tentacle whip does not exactly make you invincible. All it would do is give you an extra weapon, and uh, I think my security could handle one extra weapon on a student.
Good. I just have some bad experiences, let's say.
No worries. All right. Well, if that's all the questions, let's move on to the next exhibit. I believe this is an exhibit on some of the religions of Khorvaire, if we're heading in the right direction. All right. So, the religions of Khorvaire are a very interesting topic. While the Brelands aren't exactly the most religious place, and we have a good mix of things here, you'll find some very, very religious places in many other parts of the world. Going through the religions, you have, of course, the two most favorites, the two most famous, the Sovereign Host and the Dark Six. These, of course, are two sides of the same coin. One is good. One is a good host of eight heavenly gods that do good things throughout the world, and one is a dark host of six who do evil and dark things. I am sure that there are plenty of you who follow this religion. Among this group, it is a very common one, especially in the Brelands. These two symbols were taken from a monastery that happened to uh, have symbols for both, although I do believe it worshipped the Dark Six, and the Sovereign Host symbols were merely to acknowledge their presence. And it was taken during a battle. Oh, I think that was about 2, 3 years into the war. Uh, I believe it was on the outskirts of the Brelands, was where that battle was fought. The next one we have is a symbol for the Blood of Vul. The Blood of Vul is a vampire-esque, lich-esque religion of sorts. It's almost more of a cult, but I figured I'd keep the symbols that and other trinkets I collected here along with it. Um, these symbols were won in a battle uh, against the Kalnith, which are uh, for those on stream, or the Carnot, which for those on stream, it's in the upper right of that map that I brought back up real quick.
Eh?
The Blood of Vul was mostly worshipped by them, and this was actually won from them in a battle against their undead soldiers. Very nice, very nice. I won't go over the other ones. Those are the two. Those are the two main ones I'm gonna go over. Well, I'll also bring up the Silver Flame. They're really popular. Um, the Silver Flame is an old religion. I actually got this one from a ransacked monastery of the Silver Flame. This particular trinket, and he holds up a an old sword with Silver Flame etchings in it. This particular trinket is from a paladin who was killed at said monastery, and he puts it back. As you can see, these different artifacts are from all around the world, from all the many battles that I fought on Breland's behalf. If you have any questions about any of these, feel free to ask, and I will gladly tell you more.
That sword, how did you come to obtain it?
Oh well, as I said, there was a battle at a monastery. We were having trouble with some monks and paladins over at the monastery of the Silver Flame. Um, this was up in uh oh well, I forget exactly where. Sorry, sometimes locations kind of blend together. But this was in the northern areas of Khorvaire, and during the battle, I was actually at the front lines with the rest of my troops. It was a very hard fought battle, and after we broke down the gates, we were met by a few different paladins, the leader of which was wielding this weapon, and he was slain, and I picked the weapon up from the battlefield after the battle was won,
Does it
along
have
with
any
most
sorry.
of these other trinkets were picked up from the same monastery.
Does it have any magical properties?
Uh, I think it can shed light, but that's about it. If it had any major magical properties, it would be behind better security.
Interesting. Must have been quite a powerful warrior if he thought he could get away with such a simple weapon.
Well, the Silver Flame believe in their self power over a lot of else, um, and in their faith. So, uh, I don't exactly remember. I wouldn't call the people at that monastery exactly the smartest. They were fighting against an entire army. over one little monastery. I don't know. Wasn't the smartest tactical choice.
It must have been quite a hectic battle if all of these well, religions were at the same small monastery.
No, 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 no. These are from different places all over the world. Some of these aren't from even monasteries. If you look over at the uh, Path of Light over there, most of those artifacts and trinkets were actually obtained from a city, um, and not a monastery itself. Um, some of these came from churches, some from monasteries. It just happens most of the Silver Flame stuff comes from the same monastery.
Oh,
Any other questions before we move on?
Well, so you've been around the world and fought a lot of different people. What's made you decide to set up a museum?
Well, I was collecting these trinkets and artifacts throughout the war, um, and I just decided that it would be best to put them all in a museum where Sharn uh, could enjoy these wonderful pieces of culture and art from around the world. I mean, you'll win them from battle, and they do belong to the Breland. It was won in battles fought for the Breland, so I figured they should be shown off here.
Indeed. Well, I have no more questions for now.
No worries. Alrighty. Well, moving on. If y'all don't have any more questions, uh, let's move on uh, to a different piece of art. This is a wonderfully interesting exhibit. One from one of the greatest artists in the world. I collected most of these pieces um, when the city that he had been living in was attacked. I believe he died in that battle. Quite an unfortunate thing, but I happened to be leading the charge that went past his mansion, and on the way back, I was able to take most of these pieces from his house. These are paintings, mostly portraits, from the greatest changeling artist known to man. Now, as many of you know, changelings mostly just adopt cultures from the other people and places that they are around. It's kind of in their nature to do so. This changeling set out from the norm and decided to paint portraits of different people throughout the world. Uh, at the time, uh, I believe he was staying near the Morholds uh, when the city uh, was under siege, and the two probably the greatest painting around here is a painting of the current king of Sier, um, also known as the exiled king or the lost king. At the time, he was a prince and ambassador, which I believe this was painted when the artist visited the prince at one point. But nowadays, he is an actual king, although a king of nothing. Any questions?
Well, that's. So, how did you come by this portrait?
This portrait was in the artist's mansion along with many of the other portraits. The artist mostly kept um, the paintings in wherever he was at the time. He did a lot of traveling, but they were found in the current mansion that he was living in.
what happened to the mansion?
Uh, I am not entirely sure. I believe the city was burned to the ground afterwards. Um,
So
there wasn't a lot of tactical reason to keep it around, so it was burnt to the ground afterwards. I'm gonna suspect, unless the mansion had any magic on it, that it also burned. Luckily, I was able to retrieve most of these pieces before that happened.
El's smile kind of drops slightly when he hears that. Oh,
these art pieces are all that remains of the city.
Uh, yes, I believe so. Probably, unless any other uh, treasures were taken from it.
Hmm.
Uh, and maybe a survivor too. I don't know.
Just
oh,
seems a tragedy. Or
it's good. It's good that you could preserve what you could.
Of
yeah,
course. Well, it was war, and in war, these sorts of things happen. But at least you can be safe knowing that most of those sorts of tragedies didn't happen within the Brelands. The Brelands were mostly kept uh, in fairly good shape throughout the entirety of the war, thanks to our positioning and changing allies.
hmm.
And of course, generals and soldiers such as me and my troops that kept you all safe.
Did anyone ever try to buy these paintings?
Oh, uh, I believe, I believe the Lost Prince, uh, has tried to buy this painting more than once. He sent in a few offers. Um, mostly the people who the portraits were painted of, or the places where they were painted, have asked or bartered for them, but I've kept them here. I believe they belong in the Breland.
Hmm. Maybe you could make copies of them and send those.
Hmm, I could try, but I just started the museum. We'll think about those sorts of things later.
Indeed.
Well, if there are no more questions, I believe we can keep going this way.
Of course.
Alrighty, I do warn you of this next exhibit. Some of you may get a little uncomfortable. And he walks over to an exhibit that is labeled as the Dragon Marks. And along the walls, you see what at first you think are oddly shaped pieces of paper that have been painted on with the dragon marks. Uh, Everyone give me a perception check.
Okay. Uh, Perception.
15.
21.
12.
Alright, wait, what did you roll?
Me?
Yeah,
12.
okay. Kel, you notice that this is not in fact paper, but is in fact, at first you think leather, and then you realize human skin that has been cured.
Ah!
Well, not all human, some half orc, some half elf, depending on the dragon mark.
Ah!
Ugh.
Alright, this is the exhibit of the dragon marks. As all of you probably know, the dragon marks are a gift from the dragons to certain households. The houses were on very different sides of the war. Not all of them would ally with one kingdom. Some of Many of them were split during the times of the war. This hall, uh, one of my one of my underlings had a habit of skinning those with the dragon marks to try and get their power. I think he had some theories about it. After all of that failed, he gifted them to me for the museum. He thought that it would be a great way to show off um, the designs of the dragon marks upon the human body, because I know that most people throughout their life don't get to see all of them, because many of them are hidden under clothing or that sort of thing. Um, so you can see many of them here. I actually have one of each at minimum, although you might notice a few repeats. You can see this one, a, a a wonderful little mark of deflection. You can see one here from a mark of finding. And here we are, a mark of warding. Uh, Interestingly enough, most of the mark of warding dwarves actually do live in this city. It is where either here or the moor holds, and this was actually where I got this mark, was during a fight near the moor holds. Um, my platoon never actually went inside, but there was a vault um, being held by some mark of warding dwarves that was fought over in a city where my where my group was, and that is where this mark of warding dwarf skin comes from. This is a rather large mark as well. Most of them will be rather small, usually only along the shoulder or a little bit along the back. This one actually comes all the way around the shoulders to the chest. That's why this is one of the biggest pieces. It goes from the chest all the way around the shoulders, all the way down the back. It's rather impressively large.
Oh, Burden instinctively shivers in sympathy at the sight of it, because, well, he has his own mark of warding, and that's so very disturbing.
Ella's just kind of disturbed by the human flesh collection aspect of the collection.
I mean, it does
Oh boy.
kind of just look like leather, to be honest.
Yeah, but
It's still a gruesome practice.
Fun fact, Mark of Warding Dwarf, you know this. This would not be the first time this sort of collection was created. Um,
Ugh.
it is actually not the most uncommon trait along the battlefield, um, to skin those with marks, or at least cut out the part with the mark.
I am now very, very, very afraid. Oh boy.
He turns to you and goes, "Now, if any of you have any marks, don't worry. I'm not someone who just goes around skinning. That was one of my underlings. I just figured I might as well do something with it and display them. So, you all can get a good look at the different marks. And if you do have a mark, don't worry. I'm not going to go around skinning you. I am long past my battlefield days, and skinning a person is not exactly something that I would like to do before lunchtime." Well, do any of you have any questions about this exhibit?
El just shakes his head.
Is some of these skins appear small? Did your underlings skin halflings and gnomes for these?
Oh, well, of course. Although one of these was from a teenager on the battlefield, so that would be why this one is small, because this one was from an actual human. Um, but the rest of the small ones, I'm going to guess, were probably from halflings and gnomes. Not all of them I know the origins of, as these were a gift to me. Um, but yes.
Yes, I recognize some of these. Mark of healing from House Jorasco, halflings. The
Mm-hmm.
mark of thriving from House Sevis, gnomes. And is that the mark of death from House Vul?
Ah, you know quite a bit about marks. Yes, actually, this was taken from an ancient tomb. You'll notice it looks a bit mummified. This is a mark of death from an ancient house that has long since gone away. Um, we actually found this while raiding an elven city, and found this mark of death in one of the tombs in a place of honor. Um, this one I actually can take some credit for. I actually carved this one off of the mummified body It was along the forehead, so it's a rather small one, but it is very impressive part of my collection.
Hmm. Yes, my family is a cadet line of House Kundarak. We
Ah,
learned what our
impressive. Yes, so you would be related to the dwarf where that mark was taken from.
Ugh, I hesitate to consider it, but evidently so.
Very impressive. What did your family think about the fact that the Mrorhold was split during the time of the war? I know that part of Mrorhold was fighting on one side, part was fighting on another. And I know that the banking house of Warding was one of the main reasons for that split. So where did your family lie on that?
My mother is from the Stronghelm family. It is through them I'm related to Kundarak. She is a very practical woman. We were taught as children that conflict is inevitable, even between members of your own family. All you can do is see to your own affairs, and when the time comes, be sure that you and those you care about can survive it.
All right, very practical woman. Sounds very smart. Probably wouldn't have been one of the idiots who decided to stay at the bank. All right, let's move on. I see a few of you turning different shades of green, so I feel like we should get moving. All right. Ah, this is truly an impressive thing. Come along this way. You will see the old parts, mostly been reconstructed, although we're still working on it, of one of the oldest lightning rails. This was one of the original lightning rails back in the day. It was probably the oldest one that was running for up until it was decommissioned during the war.
Fascinating make.
Yes, of course, for those of you who don't know, the lightning rails were created with a mix of the House of Making and the House of uh, Transportation. Um, and through a mix of their two houses, they were able to create these beautiful lightning rails. Um, this one was actually carrying this one was actually harboring a few fugitive uh, soldiers and spies who were carrying information with them, and so we attacked the train, and unfortunately that is what destroyed it. But I was able to find most of the parts. If not then, I was able to collect most of them later. So we've been slowly reconstructing it, um, and it's truly an impressive piece.
Ah, I recognize the symbol. A large metal bull's head with a hammer and anvil on it. The coat of arms of House Kneath.
Yeah, it's truly impressively made. This being one of the originals, it was actually made by one of the house members. And in fact, I heard rumor that was made by the head of house, but I haven't been able to track that down. And I've yet to get a meeting with the head of house, with the current head of house to actually certify that. But in when it was running in full, this train could carry hundreds of people on it at a time, and was one of the most oppressive of the most impressive of the original lightning rails. I believe at the time it was attacked, it was holding a little over 100 people traveling on its rails.
Hmm.
How fast would it go?
This is slower than your modern lightning rail, but I believe that it can go. Um, I believe it can go over 100 miles an hour. but it is a good bit slower than your modern lightning rail.
Yes, I can imagine. It would not. Besides, it would need a tremendous amount of power to keep it running.
Yes, was actually one of the first legal uses of a magical, a condensed magical crystal. Fun fact, was the lightning rails.
Hmm. My father and I have always been fascinated by such things. His is a house of smiths, and we studied the construction of these trains.
They are truly impressive. All right, well, if there are no more questions, I believe that we should get on to our last exhibit before I let you guys just wander about aimlessly looking at whatever you wish.
Of course,
This is, of course, not the last exhibit in the museum. You can feel free to look at anything else you wish to look at. This is just the last one that I have time to show you all.
of course. Let's see it then.
All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Ternadal Elves are a ancestor-based society. They worship and revere their ancestors. Uh, as such, when me and my group and a bunch and quite a few others uh, invaded a Ternadal outpost, uh, I was very pleased to find a small grove of ancestor shrines which, while most of them were destroyed during the attack, I was able to grab many artifacts from them, including this beautiful ancestor weapon, a double-bladed scimitar from one of the old ancestors. It is a truly beautiful piece of craftsmanship and work, and captures the artistry and love that the original Ternadal craftsmen had for their double-bladed scimitars. Truly beautiful.
Fascinating. A friend of mine has such a blade.
Really?
Yes, two of them actually. They're both elves of the middle class.
And he looks over the crowd and he sees, Pteranodol elves are not super common in Sharn, so, fun fact, your two friends are the only Pteranodol elves in the class.
Hmm.
And he looks at, the two twins and he goes, uh, would these happen to be your friends?
Yes.
Did either of you bring your scimitar today?
At this point, Nooks is going to take out her scimitar, if that's okay.
Tempest does as well.
All right. Oh, everything, are you back with us?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
Wonderful.
Hooray.
I'm gonna turn
Yay.
you up a little bit so you can hear, or so not so you can hear, so we can hear you properly.
Hmm.
All right. So you came back in perfect time.
Oh, great.
All right. So he picks it up and he goes, "A beautiful piece of craftsmanship. Is this an ancestor weapon as well?"
Which one is it? Which one is he holding first off?
Yours, Nooks.
Yeah.
Not. Would it be an ancestry weapon? Because I got it from my patron.
Technically would be considered an ancestor weapon, depending on what type of Pteranodol elf you ask. Since you
Yeah.
technically got it from an ancestor of sorts, yes.
Yes, this is actually.
Beautiful. Oh, I don't see a it is rare to see an ancestor weapon being carried about. You must be a favorite of your ancestor. Truly beautiful. All right, and he
Well,
hands it back to
it
you,
is
and then
my
he,
patron,
uh,
so.
Tempest, do you hand yours to him as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, so he picks it up and he goes, much more standard make, but still a beautifully balanced weapon. Um, and he picks up and he goes, but if you compare, and he holds it, next to the shielded glass where the ancestor weapon is. He goes, but if you compare it, you can just see the very clear difference between an ancestor weapon and a normal double-bladed scimitar. Not to say anything against yours, it is a truly well-made piece, but you can very clearly tell the difference once you see two of them together.
Hmm.
Tempest and Nooks.
Yeah.
To remove an ancestor weapon from its shrine as a non-Ternadel elf of that ancestor is like one of the greatest acts of sacrilege imaginable.
Ooh.
Actually, to mess with an ancestor shrine in any way as someone who is not directly related to that ancestor or worshipping that ancestor is one of the greatest acts of sacrilege.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Had either of us done the thing?
Oh, so
No, I think the implication is that the gnome did that.
Oh no.
Museum guy.
the gnome has a literal whole exhibit of just stuff he stole from, or sorry, that he retrieved from uh, a set of shrines from a Tyraniddle outpost that he and his group
Ooh.
raided.
Oh boy.
Can we like let him know of that, or would that be disrespectful?
I'm not.
Because like it is disrespectful, but I don't really want to get kicked out of a museum yet. I mean, I
So
was going to because our field trip
Yes.
would go on and that, but not yet.
so he looks at you all and goes, so are there any questions about these artifacts or this weapon?
I have just one. Have you been in contact with Hirnadel elves about the fact that you have these swords?
Oh,
This
well, I do believe a few of them have contacted me about getting them back, but truthfully, I have no wish to take them from this museum from Sharn, so I don't plan to send them back.
well, that's certainly
Uh, we can hear the GPS.
Yep, try and fix it.
The GPS is now a player.
um, so yeah,
it
so
seems
so he looks at the rest of y'all and he goes, anything else?
Can I nudge Tempest and just not really say anything, but just kind of give them a look about how disrespectful that kind of is, I guess. Kind of,
Yeah, you can do
maybe.
that.
I don't know. And then that's what I will do.
So the gnome goes, well, if you don't have any more questions, feel free to walk about, look at things. I will be out and about. Feel free to ask any of the guides or myself if you see me about any of the exhibits or anything else. Have a great trip to the museum. And he walks off.
Ah, my skin is still crawling from the sight of all those dragon marks. Oh, see, people actually do that.
Alrighty. So, what do you all do? You can walk around the museum at this point.
That's what Nooks will do. They'll just kind of wander around the area, taking a night, taking in
Alright.
everything.
Okay, Muradin will do the same. Maybe take some notes on each of the dragon marks because they are actually quite an interesting part of the setting. But still also weirded out. But other than that, I guess keeping an eye out for Draco, if he's still around, is the only other thing of note he'll do.
Hell is going to return to the art portion of the museum just to see if he can find out anything more about the artist.
So there's plenty of information on the artist available. What do you want to know?
Just anything really.
All right. So changelings are still a relatively recent, um, in history annotated addition to the world. There is many theories that they've been around for a while, but due to their nature, there's not a ton of records on them. So this is probably the first changeling, like historical figure or celebrity, I guess, that's ever been a thing. That's been openly a changeling. There's theories on some others being changelings, but because it's unable to be proven, most just don't know. Um, this changeling was a legendary artist known mostly for his portraits, although he did do some beautiful artwork in other things, but he was almost entirely known for his portraits. And he would travel around the world doing these wonderful portraits, and unfortunately, he did die during the last war on a raid of a city near the Moorholds. Um, his mansion and the rest of the city was burned to the ground, and during that raid, most of his art was lost. Um, this seems to be literally most of the art of his that's left is in this museum, outside of a few paintings that are hanging on the walls of the people who they were painted for.
Hmm.
Any other questions? I mean,
Well,
this is. I mean, Kel, this is literally about the only
Yeah,
history your entire race has is this one dude.
yeah. Is there anything about like how he managed to get so popular, or?
Um, he literally was just one of the greatest painters in that time. Like truly, that was his defining feature was his just level of painting ability. Um, he would often also the other thing was he didn't paint these by um, having the person sit in front of them. He would literally have a mirror and he would paint a self portrait by turning into the person.
Ah, it's great.
Um,
yeah.
Most changelings revere him as um, partially because he's one of the only historical figures changelings have of any note, but also just because was he figured out how to use his changeling ability to do something truly spectacular. And changelings have always been lovers of art. Is another thing. It's just something that changeling society, as fractured as it is, seems to share in common is a love of art. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you're right at home in the Fine Arts Society.
Yeah. Apart from being poor, yeah. Apart from being poor, the only changeling there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good for some changing places kind of drama.
Uh,
uh,
Anything else?
I
Well,
think that's it for now. Uh,
yeah,
Yep.
I've said my piece.
All right. In that case, you continue to explore the museum. Oh, you wanted to see what Draco was doing. Draco's hanging out with those other two and looking around at different things in a museum. It doesn't look like he's trying to pull another heist, if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah, like, given what his, well, you know what the principal had him do, I wouldn't have put it past him. But
Alrighty.
yeah, if he's not doing anything illegal, we'll leave him to his own devices.
DM, I was wondering if I could cast Detect Thoughts on Draco.
You try. You sense that same. You sense that something's blocking your abilities to. Same feeling you got with the principal.
Hmm. That's not suspicious at all. Okay.
He must have a telepathic blocker. Probably blocked it after you looked into his mind the first time.
All right. At the end, you are all invited into. So you all go back to the college, and the really big main auditorium for when the whole school assembles is used, and the gnome is giving a presentation on the last war. Um, Along with many of the battles that he was involved in, along with many anecdotes and stories on how he got many of the pieces in his exhibits from towns that were attacked to um, different monasteries to tons of different other things. There is a question time at the end if you all want to ask any more questions of him. Otherwise, that's it.
I think I've asked all the questions I want to ask.
Same.
Yep, Kel is satisfied with everything he's learned today.
Wonderful. All right. So, uh, you, um, so yeah, you all start to head back to the room. Uh, uh should be
Is
back on
Bear
my.
with us?
Bear, it does eventually head back to the room. Yeah.
Yeah, just because after Draco moved out, he's our only NPC roommate for now.
Mhm. Um. So, do you all head to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next will.
Wonderful.
Well, we do have tests coming up, right?
Uh, in a
To,
few days.
right,
They've been
just
So
scheduled
check.
for a
Nix
few
will
days from
probably
now.
get some studying done for those tests and then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Wonderful. As you are studying, uh, Nooks, you hear a whispering from your blade.
Ooh.
Yes. What is
I
it?
do not like that exhibit.
I know, I didn't either, but I mean, I didn't know if it was worth it to get kicked out of a museum over it, or I mean, I'm already in trouble with the school. I don't want to make things worse by like doing this, and so I didn't know.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
You should free the ancestor treasures.
I don't know if there's any way I can go back, or I
Steal
mean, I can,
them.
but
Send
Kill
them
them.
back to their rightful home.
damn, would there be any way we'd be able to get back to the museum?
There is a staircase, or you could get on a sky coach. Yeah, there's ways back.
So, very unlike Nooks. This is probably the thing that's going to be most unlike Nooks is all. Is Nooks able to sneak out and head back? Possibly.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can try and sneak out. I'll need a stealth roll from you to try and sneak past your entire dorm area when half of them are up studying.
That's a 3. That
Yeah,
wasn't that one.
yeah, all of you notice Nooks trying to sneak out. Literally
Perfect.
all of you. One of you was asleep and you noticed.
No, I'm imagining we're all in, like the same room, and she's like Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
They're trying to like Scooby.
the rest of you had formed kind of a study group. Um, and we're in the central dining room as Nooks tried to like sneak out and accidentally like knocked into one of you and went, "Oops, sorry," and then just kept trying to sneak out.
Hang on. Invisibility.
You still knock into them and go, "Oops, sorry," and they hear you walking because it's hardwood floor.
Never mind.
You rolled a nat 1. There's only so much you can do.
Muradin says, "What exactly are you doing?"
Okay, so look, so my patriot got upset that I didn't kill everyone at the exhibit, that I didn't kill the people, that I didn't free the ancestors at the exhibit, and I can't really do anything because I don't want them to be upset at me again, and I don't know.
So we're
If that
doing
was
stuff.
so, you were planning to break into the museum to take that double-bladed scimitar
Maybe.
We're stealing
by
stuff.
yourself without any of us.
Okay, if you wanted to join me, you could have just said something.
I don't know that I want to join you, but if you're set on this, the least we can do is keep you alive and out of trouble.
Look, I don't know if I understand your whole patron thing, but it looks like you need someone who's a bit more experienced at stealing stuff with you.
I absolutely want to help you. Yeah.
It worked out in my favor in the end.
Well,
Alright.
lucky for you, we're the cooperative kind of player party.
All right. We're going to take a 15-minute break and we will be right back.
Yay!
Fun.
Alrighty. Okay, that was live. Hi everyone. We're back. We're still a bunch of dumb nerds. Everything
Yeah,
is still in a car.
it's
At
fine.
least we're not in a restaurant anymore.
Yeah, you know, be a bunch of nerds together.
Yes. Alright, so where last we left off, you all were planning to go on a bank heist. What is your plan for this? Or not bank, museum heist. Yes, very different. What is your plan for this?
We should have been thinking about this during the break.
You
Well,
Yeah, we
weren't?
should have.
Well, remember, there's a map of the museum outside.
There is.
So, first, I suggest we do an investigate check of the exterior, just to check for hidden
Wait, wait.
check for if there are any exterior alarms or guards we have to worry about.
Yes,
That is
definitely.
a logical
Check
idea.
for traps.
Yeah, when we do like every spy movie and have one of us tied by rope around the waist and just kind of hang down into the.
We've been
Um,
trying to find a use for our rope since session 1. I mean, why not?
Just let us be a cliche spy movie.
there's a glass domed roof that goes into the main area. Yeah. Okay. How do you plan to get on said glass roof?
I can get
More
down.
of like
Does anyone have any sort of climbing
door.
spells?
Okay,
Legitimately?
okay, everyone is talking over everyone.
Yeah,
One
okay.
at a time.
Okay, first of all, I was thinking more like, the front door, any guards who'd be posted out there. Is there anything like that?
You don't know.
Well, that's why I asked if we could do an investigation check to, see
Yeah.
for ourselves.
Not if you don't go there.
Oh, we
Well,
not left yet?
Burden will go there, I guess.
Nooks will. I guess we'll all just kind of go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
so
by
we need to
sky
get
coach, or are you going around the staircase way?
I think it'd be better if we take the stairs. We can't be like.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we have to alert anyone with the sky bus.
Coach, you cannot fly a sky bus in the middle of the city.
Sky coach.
Jesus.
We are going to we are going to steal a sky bus and we are going to ram it into the.
Sky coach. Okay.
You all worry me sometimes. Okay, yeah, alright, so you are going up the stairs. I need a stealth check.
Okay.
From all of us?
Oh, 19.
Yes.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
4.
Oh my god.
Erks. No.
I'm gonna work on your
Why you
rolls.
don't like me today?
So the rest of y'all are like sneaking up the stairs and are like looking around and everything or not everything. Nooks just falls down the stairs. Like you guys are sneaking up and Nooks just slips and goes boom ba boom ba boom ba boom for a hot
Oh.
minute before they catch themselves partway down.
Oh no.
First
Have we
off,
alerted
take
anyone?
take a certain amount of damage once I can find my dice.
Oh boy.
Take 15 points of damage.
Oof.
Oof.
I'm now down to 30 HP.
Good job.
And second off, you were saying?
And then second off, 2 guards come towards the stairs.
Okay.
Can I cast Misty Step
Where?
on myself here? So
two-
they
Find them.
Yeah, where are you going with 30 feet?
up the stairs.
DM, we met their boss, right? Like
Yeah.
the guard. We met the okay. Wait, hold on. I don't have to do this. Kel, you're a changeling. Please help.
I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have the
Okay.
boss's clothes.
Okay, how far away from their us are they?
Well, the rest of you, like, 15 feet. The person who just Misty stepped up the stairs, 2 feet.
Okay, I'm. Oh boy.
Speaking of, Nooks,
Yes.
the guards look at you. The museum is
check.
closed, ma'am.
Can I try to convince the guards that I was somehow sleepwalking? If I roll a really good persuasion check, can I convince the guards I was sleepwalking?
Sure, try it.
Oh my god. Was that a good persuasion roll?
Well, that's a 22.
You know what? They look at you and go, "Okay, do you need help getting back home?"
No, I'm good.
Okay.
And Nix
We'll
will
we'll
sort of
we'll take you down the stairs, and they follow you down the stairs.
Do they notice us?
If you guys, where are you guys gonna go? It's a stairway, and then or you can fall down maybe a few hundred feet. So
Okay, guess we're going back down.
yeah, you get to the bottom of the staircase, and the guards go, "Well, have a good night," and they start walking back up the staircase.
Is it possible if we can knock out the guards? Like before they
Just
before
walk
they
right
go
into
all the way back up to where the other guards will be.
Sure. How do you want to do that?
Burden could zap them with his lightning launchers.
That work?
Okay.
I know this is so terrible, but
These poor
desperate times.
guards.
Yeah, they're. I feel bad for them, but needs must. Okay, that's 25 for one and 22 for the other.
Oh, you definitely hit.
Okay.
That's not a question.
Question
Okay.
is, does it work?
Okay, 11 and 10 damage, one and the other.
Yeah, they're both knocked out.
Okay, I take one of their uniforms and shape change into
We'd better
I
tie
take
them up to prevent them from reporting us to the rest of the guards. Does any of you have a section of rope?
I believe Nooks.
we have rope. Yeah.
I do believe everyone starts out with rope.
Yeah, Nooks has 50 feet of rope.
I also have 50 feet of rope. I do believe.
I think that's just something that comes with almost every D&D's character. Every D&D character.
All
There were
right.
2 guards,
50
right?
feet of rope.
Yes.
Okay, I cast
Okay.
Alter Self and turn into the other one. Still as close.
Okay.
So,
So I'm guessing
so
the
then,
2 guards are in front.
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Um, so you two, I'm guessing the rest of the party is not within eyesight of those two.
No, we'll keep a respectable distance.
All right. So you two see 2 other guards at the entrance to the museum, and they look over and they go, "What was the noise?"
Somebody sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking?
Yeah. It
Okay.
happens. Weird warlock stuff.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, you guys ready to take over our shift? We're gonna head out for the night.
Yeah, have fun.
You got it.
Cool. All right. Just remember, keep it locked up. Don't go inside.
Yeah.
And they head out on a sky coach.
Oh, we are so getting kicked out of school for this.
What if we don't
If
get
we
caught?
get caught. Jing.
If someone finds out, we're out. We're all out of the school.
That's
Alrighty.
what we got backup characters for.
Oh my god. Okay, so, um, what do y'all do? Y'all have the keys.
Okay.
We'll just unlock it and go in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure everything's
Front
okay.
door, the front door seems like the simplest way in.
All right. So, you are inside. What do you do? You're in the main room. There's the map. What do you do?
We'll
Okay,
head
first,
to the exhibit for the ancestor stuff.
yeah.
All right.
Also, Kel, can you check for any alarm systems or traps? Just to make sure.
Yeah, I'll check for traps and stuff.
Kel's
Yeah,
a
me too.
bard.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that. Yep. My brain said that he was dexterous, and I was like, yes, rogue. Sorry, my bad. We can all check for traps.
Okay. So you guys are heading towards the exhibit with the ancestor weapons. Um, give me a uh, yeah, give me a check for traps. That's a sleight of hand.
Okay, here goes.
That's one of you, not everyone.
I'll do it. Since I
Sure.
was the one who suggested. 25.
All right.
No.
You notice a tripwire at the entrance to the exhibit. That you are able to step over.
Okay. I obviously also relay that it's there to the rest of the party.
Alrighty. You are within the exhibit for the ancestor items. Along with the weapon, there are quite a few other items from ancestor shrines here. What do you all do? They
I'm
are
trying
all
to-
behind. They are all behind glass, by the way.
So, are there any locks or things we can look for?
Yeah, there's locks to open up the glass for each of the panels.
I'm assuming the
Can
key.
I
I'm assuming the key.
talk to my patron. Sorry.
Okay, one at a
Maybe
time.
You go first.
Can I actually talk to my patron, see if they have any advice about how to do this? Because they were the one who told me to do this.
Oh yeah, they have no advice. Just because they
Typical
have an idea
patrons.
doesn't mean they think they know how to do it.
Alrighty.
I'm
So
assuming
they got us into this mess, and now they're unable or unwilling to get us out of this.
yeah. I'm assuming the keys I've got are just for the door and not for the cases.
Yeah. No, they don't open the cases.
I assume the glass would also be alarmed.
Likely, yeah.
Okay, this is a tricky one.
As you guys are looking at your options, you hear heavy footsteps. I need a stealth check from everyone to hide quickly.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
18.
That's a 21.
Hey, you didn't fail this time.
Unnatural
Yeah.
20.
Natural 1.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So everyone else hides, and you're just looking at everything, like so focused that you don't notice as the armored, four-legged, orange-skinned, almost.
We want to say since you are like guard uniform and stuff, you can talk your way out of this.
Yeah, I was
Probably.
literally about to. Yep, I was literally about to.
Here, I'm just gonna send a picture because there's just not a great way to describe this creature, and
Oh,
for
that's
everyone on
Okay,
stream,
no. That's not the kind of thing you can talk to. Never mind.
Oh no!
Good luck.
DM, from my hiding spot, am I able to cast Eldritch Blast?
you can, but do you want to do that right already?
Could I
Hold on,
use
I just wanna
sanctuary?
It's a cantrip, so I have
I
to.
just want to see.
Wait, no,
It's
I've got a better idea. Wait, let me check if the spell works on like beasts or if it's just on like humanoids.
That's not a beast.
Ah.
Can I try to talk to it?
Sanctuary on it?
You
Well,
can feel free. All right, you hear a voice in your head.
Mm.
What are you doing here?
Since
I respond.
Well, hey, one at a time, guys, please.
Sorry.
I respond. I'm just gonna be like, heard a noise inside. Thought someone might have, stayed behind. You know how kids are. Had to make sure everything was okay. No red flags.
It is not your job to guard these sacred treasures. It is mine.
I know that, but you weren't here. And I mean, listen, I'm a little overzealous. Maybe I want to raise. Let's just chill out, okay? You go back to guarding whatever you were guarding. There's nothing here. I can leave. We're good.
Hmm. I do not think that you are telling the truth.
Why would you think that?
I can sense 3 others.
Oh
Oh
no.
boy.
Well, if you can sense 3 others, then apologies. I must have missed them. We can probably search for them together. Then again, it also may be another guard on duty.
Hell's gonna come out of its hiding space now that Tempest mentioned that.
Why would you hide, little god?
I know what you do to people.
He comes up to you, sniffs you. I can smell you, changeling.
Oh my god.
Would this be a moment to cast Eldritch Blast? It's a cantrip, and I can.
I still
I'm gonna
can't tell if
need.
he believes me or not.
He looks at the rest of you, and he lashes out with his tongue.
Okay.
So I can cast Eldritch Blast.
Now
Okay.
might be a good time, but first I need initiative from everyone.
Damn
Okay,
it.
does he attack the exhibit in this manner?
He is attacking. He's not attacking like an area. He's attacking, um, specifically, uh, everything in the guard at the moment. Although he's,
Initiative is a 16.
I got a natural 20.
I got an
Oh.
18.
What a great time to get a natural 20.
Right
creature.
after a natural 1. You are. There's something wrong with your luck.
Okay, I'm using an app. It's not even my dice. I'm using an app. I'm blaming it on the app.
All right.
Anyway,
I got a
18 for
12.
me.
So,
Okay.
Nooks, what did you get?
A 16.
Okay, so you three, then the Canoloth, and then your Artificer. So, natural 20.
I got
Cool,
18.
cool.
I thought you said you got a 1.
No, I said that's. I said everything got a nat 20 after they got a 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's you 4 and then the Canoloth.
Right, yeah. Sorry for
Cool.
that
So
mistake.
I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost
Cool.
at the creature. Is there a way I can aim at it, but also like get part of the glass container into it? Because I'm trying to attack them both.
You can either attack the glass container or the Canoloth. You cannot attack both unless you have more than one attack.
Okay.
Or also unless it is a area of effect spell.
I don't think it's an area of. Oh well, hold on.
Might be more than one beam.
No,
Yeah.
but it's not one beam. It's only one beam. Sorry. Okay, so I cast Ray of Frost on the creature.
Cool.
That's a +7 to hit. So let me roll. 19.
Got it. That hits.
Okay. That's 2d8 cold damage. That's 11 points of cold damage, and
Ouch.
its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
All right, 11 points taken. Oh, he has resistance.
Oh,
So he
Oh
shrugs
no.
half of that off. And speed
That's
is
fine.
reduced by 10. Got it. He is down to 40 feet of movement.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this guy is actually pretty fast for a big guy.
Yeah, this guy is actually just size medium, fun fact. He's about the size of a dog.
Oh.
Um,
Uh,
realize
He's
like he's the size of of like a large dog, like a husky or a German shepherd.
Oh, from the picture, I assumed he was some kind of behemoth.
No, just the size of a dog.
Oh man, I'm suddenly a lot less scared of him now.
Oh, you shouldn't be.
Well, well,
uh,
it's like where you hear that something is a big scary monster, and then you realize, wait, this thing comes up to my knee or my waist at most.
well, not your near waist because you're a dwarf.
No, it comes up to your face.
Not the worst thing that's happened to me, I'll have you know.
Yeah, fair. Um, all right. So
Okay,
18
I
or
rolled.
non-natural
That's me.
20. Non-natural
Uh,
20. Kel.
Yeah.
uh, I'm assuming it's too late to use calm emotions.
Yeah, we're a good bit too late for calm emotions.
Yeah, it was worth a shot though. Uh, I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers then. Old reliable.
Alrighty.
Second level spell slot. Do. Say wisdom saving throw, I do believe.
I think he fails.
Excellent.
14?
Uh, 14 matches
Oh,
my DC, so
then he succeeds.
ah,
Your DC's
oh
only a
well.
14?
That's what the character sheet says.
Dang.
Uh,
What's your
on,
charisma?
on, my charisma is 17
Oh
plus
wow.
3.
Hey, you need to bump that up.
Yeah. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage, and no, on a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and doesn't have to move away. So,
Oh, your favorite part of it didn't work.
yeah. So, do
At least you have damage.
we round up or down?
Up.
That's 6 damage.
Got it. Take him.
Hey, what kind of creature is this?
Demon. Well, technically a fiend, not a demon.
Right. Certainly looked at it and thought, it's a very sinister thing for a museum to use as a guard.
I'm not gonna give you the lore on what a cataloth is, but it actually does kind of make sense.
Yeah, so it's just a hellhound then. Okay.
No, kind of different.
Okay.
If you take the time to learn, if your character takes the time to look into these, I'll tell you why. But yeah, it's different from a hellhound.
We can talk about that after the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, so this being in a very dangerous situation. Person is going to launch a catapult spell at us using one of his trusty bits of iron that he just carries around in his pocket for such occasions.
Very nice.
And for those who don't know, this is a spell I've used quite often. DC 16 dexterity save. If it misses, 3d8 damage. Bludgeoning.
Wonderful. All right. This is 3D. That is a nat 20.
I am very annoyed, but you win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. He doesn't even have a plus to dex.
Yeah, it's just a roll of the dice, I guess.
Just a roll of the dice. Alrighty, so how much damage does he take? Half?
Sure, okay. 3d8. 3d8. 3, 4, 5 is 12, so 6.
Alright. 12 damage taken. Or, sorry, 6 damage taken. Sorry.
Yeah, because I halved it.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I believe that makes it Peyton's turn, not Canlot's
Yep.
turn. Peyton.
So can I cast Eldritch Blast with Hexblade's Curse, aiming one of my beams at the creature and one of my beams at the case?
Sure.
Alright, the first beam is a 18.
That hits.
Second beam is a 11.
That hits because it's stationary glass.
Alright, that is, for the creature, that is 6 points. Well, not 6 points. Hang on, I did my math wrong. 9 points of damage. And for the glass, that is 10 points of damage.
Just enough. Alright, so you hit the creature. It's not happy, but more importantly, you hit the glass and it shatters.
Sweet.
You start to get a whispering in your head.
What is the whispering?
The whispering is going, "Let us help. Let us have control."
How would I do that, DM?
Just give up control.
And that's what I will do.
Cool. I'm gonna reroll initiative. Your character is mine until you are given back control.
Sweet. I don't get to do anything. Do you need to know my spells or anything, or?
You get a different array of abilities when this happens. So.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What does this look like for us?
So for the rest of you, because this is important to know, for the rest of you, your friend just cast their spell, and all of a sudden they look down at their sword, and their sword grew. First off, their double-bladed scimitar just grew and has gotten a bit spikier and a bit less friendly looking, and a bit less elvish in general. Their hair turns pitch black and starts waving, and their eyes turn pitch black. The arm which they are holding the sword with, the now much more noticeable blackened veins are spreading to the hand and slowly spread spread throughout the body as they are just covered in these blackened veins.
Is this something that's permanent, or?
You will see. You don't know.
Alright.
And because I'm nice, I'll let this transformed version of you get in a few attacks first.
Yeah.
The blade crackles with some dark electricity as this creature that has taken over your friend's body takes 2 swings with its blade and then another swing with the backside of it. That's going to be a lot of d4.
Wow.
Okay, but the a lot of D4s on our side this time.
So was that a critical hit?
No, just the weapon does a base of 2d4, so it's a lot of d4 as a base
Oh.
with 2 attacks and a backswing.
Or
So they swing out twice with the normal end and then once on the backswing. So it's a hit, backswing, and then a stab in. And you see where they stab and slice black necrosis just spread out from where the lightning strikes where it hits. The creature did 25 points of damage total.
is Hexblade's curse still in effect? Because that gives you an additional 3 points.
On each attack? Oh,
With Hexblade's curse, you said it's gain a bonus to damage rolls against a cursed target. So yeah.
okay, so that's an extra 9 points of damage, so 20 or 34 total.
And that remains until the creature dies.
Cool. Now the Canaloth is going to attack it. It's going to first make a tongue attack against this possessed version of your friend because it just dealt a lot of damage. Just gotta make sure I have the right, thing. That definitely hits. It deals 17 damage to you. I still want you to track HP.
Alright.
And the possessed creature is grappled and is pulled 15 feet towards the canolith.
Ooh, I'm now at 13 HP.
All right, and then it makes a swipe with its claws at your artificer, who I think it misses with a 14.
Yeah, it misses.
Yep, so it takes a swipe and it misses. All right, back to the top of the initiative order. Natural 20.
I'm going to cast Melf's Minute Meteors. I'm going to send one flaming rock to the creature that now has my sibling, and I am also going to send one to the Unbroken Glass. Whichever one of them is not broken.
So you're breaking another case.
Yes, I'm breaking
All
another
right,
case.
I'm not going to make you roll for that. You break another case, shatters open.
Okay. That's a dexterity saving throw of 15 for the creature.
Okay, it has disadvantage because it's grappling. Or no, it doesn't. Either way, it fails.
Okay. Give me 1 second to roll this. That is 11 points of fire damage to the creature.
Dang, nice.
And then, as a bonus action, I would like to use my telepathic speech ability to communicate with nooks-ish, and
The
just
creature who has nooks.
just telepathically be like, "Are you okay? What's happening? What is this?"
I'm great.
You're not my sibling. This is bad.
I was about to ask if I hear any of this, DM.
You hear the whole conversation. You're able to see and hear everything. You're also getting a much better picture of this other creature.
But I'm not able to respond or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be the end of my turn.
Got it. Cool. Kel.
Yeah. Kel is going to. Kel's going to take another attempt at Dissonant Whispers.
Got it.
Second level spell slot again.
Alrighty.
Wisdom.
Wisdom save. Hey, failed.
Hey.
Oh, finally.
So that is 17 damage.
Nice. The creature is hurting.
Yeah. And it also has to run away.
Yes, that will be on its turn.
I know.
It is 50 feet, so it's going to be running quite a distance. Probably too far to attack any of us, so. Okay. I guess that's my turn now.
Yep.
So, how many display cases are there? We've shattered 2.
There's
Are there
3.
any others?
3 display cases. 1 for the ancestral weapon, and the other things found at that shrine, and 2 for 2 other shrines worth of stuff.
And are any of these items magical, non-magical?
You're guessing most of them are magical.
I was just considering doing a shatter spell, and I didn't want to break anything.
You're gonna guess
Oh,
most of them are
wow.
magical, but there is a risk that some of them aren't. There is only
Okay.
1 case left unshattered, though.
Okay, Murden will cast Shatter centered on the Canoloth.
Got it. The possessed version of your friend is also going to have to make a save there.
Oh boy.
So, what's the stat?
This that is Constitution 16.
I don't care what your con save is. You both fail that. They both rolled
Oh.
7s.
Oh my god, sorry.
How much damage is that?
It's 3d8, so. Oh boy.
You're going to kill them. You're going to kill my
I'm
sibling.
only at 13 HP.
I'm so sorry. Well, I do have healing though. So.
I
Is this
also
gonna be the second time you kill one of my characters?
Ace, 2, 1. That's 11.
Alrighty.
I'm only at 2 HP.
At least you're not dead.
There's a good chance I will be soon.
Alright, so the possessed version of you rips out of the tongue's embrace. Unfortunately, they don't care about your body, so you take 6 points of damage from the barbed tongue they just violently rip themselves away from.
Yeah, I'm at 2 HP, so I'm gonna assume I'm just at 0. So I'm like either dead or unconscious.
You are. It's not.
Am I dead or unconscious? That's
Unconscious.
Okay.
You are unconscious, and I will need death saving throws from you. For the rest of you, you just see the friend bleeding and got some blood dripping from their ears.
The save, DM.
That's a con save, so I need 1 from you this turn and 1 for every turn after until you either fail 3 times or succeed 3 times.
Can we heal them?
If you know to, but yeah.
Yeah, at least some of us know how to.
Yeah.
That is a 13.
Oh wait, no, it's not a con. It's just a flat d20 roll. Sorry.
Okay. That's a 5.
All right, so you failed one.
Uh-huh.
Roll 2 times in a row, or?
No, you just failed one.
Okay.
I just messed up and I was like, no, it's not actually Constitution save. All right, so this thing possessing your friend grabs their sword, their double-bladed scimitar again, and goes at it a much more heartily this time. As in they are throwing everything to the wind to just destroy this thing.
Is that
Yeah.
another roll, or?
Nope. I just need to roll everything with advantage. So, all right. All
Okay.
3 attacks hit once again. One actually did crit.
Nice.
This is really a lot of d4s. All right. I'll need to roll the extra d4
That's
after.
74, I think, total.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, sorry, I'm having to add all the stuff together. Ah.
So is Nook just on the ground and their patron is just fighting? Or is Nook's unconscious and fighting?
So whatever has possessed them is still fighting. So to your view, they are still up and fighting.
Okay.
So none of them can tell that I'm unconscious?
Yeah. So it just did 46 points of damage.
To
Oh my
me?
god.
Wow.
No, to the Caneloth.
Oh.
Yeah.
As I just say, I'm at 0 HP. That would definitely kill me.
And as the Caneloth bolts away on very few HP, the thing possessing your friend runs with it. As in, it's trying to catch it.
Is that another roll, DM? Or?
Once it's back to your turn. So, oddly enough, whatever's possessing your friend, is actually keeping pace with the Caneloth. Caneloth, remember, is at 40 feet per turn.
Wow.
All right. So back to the top of the initiative order. The Caneloth and your friend are both out of the room because they both used 40 feet of movement to run.
I suggest we grab everything and put it in my bag of holding. It'll hide all the stuff and it'll make carrying it much easier.
Yes, do that. Put everything in your bag of holding. I'm gonna see if I can cast Calm Emotions on whatever is happening here. Is it my turn? Whose turn is it? Are we out of initiative?
No, it is not out of initiative. It is currently your turn.
Oh, it is my turn. My bad. Okay, gonna cast Calm Emotions if I still have a spell slot. I do.
Okay, you run into the next room, which is where the Caneloth and your whatever is possessing your sibling is.
Right, right. And I don't know that they're unconscious, correct?
You do not.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions on both of them because I don't know what this thing is possessing my sibling, and it's terrifying. Like it's freaking me out.
Is that a
So,
charm spell?
yes.
Okay.
I think it might have advantage on saves versus that.
So the Caneloth has advantage on saves against magic. So, um,
Okay.
I think the Canalot succeeded on its save,
Was it a
and
charisma save?
what?
Charisma 15.
It rolled a 17. Well, it rolled a 16. It gets a +1.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
that's not great.
And if it's a charm-based effect, then whatever's possessing your sibling also passes. Because you are elves, and elves have advantage on charm.
Yes. Okay, so it says if a creature. Oh, no. Sorry, that's fails its saving throw. I don't think it works then. Yeah, cool. Just wasted a spell. That's fine.
It happens. That's part of D&D.
It is.
Kel.
Kel is also going to follow everyone into the next room.
Are none of you going to grab the artifacts?
I said I would do it.
Oh, okay. So
Meriden's
Meriden's getting the artifacts. So yeah, so
yeah,
you.
I'm more concerned about what's going on with that.
Just kill the thing first.
Yeah. I'm
So,
gonna
yeah.
go for another Dissonant Whispers.
Yeah. Fun fact, by the way, you are now in the art room.
Oh, great.
I can just see Kel in his mind going, "Don't mess up the art. Don't mess up the art. Don't mess up the art."
No. No, it's even.
Fetch some spell.
All right. Dissonant Whispers. Got it.
Yep. First level spell slot this time.
Succeeded.
Okay.
Sorry.
8,
We need more direct damage spells.
5 damage.
Not quite enough to kill it. All right.
Mess up the art. It's literally all that's left of Changeling history.
Just like, don't fuck up the art. So, thing possessing your sibling grabs their double-bladed scimitar, sticks it into the creature, and unless it really messes up, is gonna kill it.
Oh yeah, let's please do that.
Do I need to roll my other death save, DM?
Yes, I need another death save.
Alright, let me roll. That is a 5.
So
Again.
okay, so you are at 2 fails. Okay, so it did just enough. It failed 2 of its attacks and hit on 1. And it did it did barely enough damage thanks to Hexblade's curse to kill this creature. So it swipes twice, and the Canalot like backsteps, and then finally it stabs in, and the Canalot rears up as the creature as whatever is possessing your sibling is just pushing this double-bladed scimitar deeper and deeper in until it knocks the Canaloth onto its side. At which point you hear some mutterings in old Elvish, and it slashes down, opening up the guts of the creature, and the creature is dead.
Finally.
At which point, whatever is possessing your sister gives a smile. You see the veins slowly start to detract. And once they're done detracting, your sibling just falls to the floor unconscious.
Okay, let's move in.
Yeah,
They are
Kel's
barely holding on to life.
Kel's gonna rush in to cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah, I'll cast Cure Wounds as a 2nd level spell.
Murden, you're actually not in the room.
Yeah, but I'm running over at this point.
Fair.
Yeah, do I need my last death save first? Or...
Nope, they get a chance to cast their healing spells first.
Alright.
Tempest is crying.
I'm going to cast it at a 3rd level spell slot.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, that's 18.
Unfortunately, I did not roll very high there. 10.
So 10 to 18. So you heal 28 points of damage, but your maximum HP is currently minus 15.
So that's it's no matter what they do, it's gonna be negative 15.
I have
No,
more spell
your
slots left.
your maximum HP is 15 less than its normal.
Ooh.
Okay.
So what's your maximum HP?
45.
Currently it is 30.
Okay.
So that's almost at maximum.
So yeah, you're almost at your maximum at the moment.
Permanent thing, or
With Hexblade's curse, if the cursed target dies, you regain HP equal to your Warlock level plus modifier.
So yeah, so you are literally at maximum, which is currently 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are coughing up black blood onto like you are coughing up and almost vomiting up black blood onto like you've rolled over and have just started coughing and vomiting up black blood for like a solid 30 seconds.
Ugh.
Tempest is staring in horror.
Hell's gonna shape change back to his not his true face, but his normal face, just so that like there is a familiar face to look at. Cap, and is just gonna ask, "Are you all right? What was that?"
Nooks is very really gonna say, I don't know.
Did your patron put you up to that?
Maybe, I don't know. Look, right now is not the time for questions for me. I was literally coming back from the brink of death. So, yeah, I'm not in the right mindset to be having a present.
Yeah, but it's understandable why they'd be scared and asking questions.
You're also in the middle of the museum still.
Yeah.
Uh, so you have a bag of holding full of uh the wood elf
Oh,
artifacts. Are you
yeah.
grabbing anything else before you run?
Nope. Just Kel isn't anyway.
Yeah, I don't see anything I want to grab, and really, at this point, I don't think there's anything here we couldn't get a version of or better at the shop, so.
The literal one of a kind paintings, I don't think you can get a better version of.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I was discussing the paintings during the break. Kel probably thinks they're gonna be better off preserved here. Kel doesn't really have the money or the resources to look after them.
That's fine. I'm just saying, not everything here you can get at the shop.
I'm
I
talking
know.
more in terms of, items, weapons, armor.
Fair.
Faster.
All right. Well, in that case, you might want to run.
Yeah.
Then we will run.
Running, yep.
All right. So you run down the stairs, run past the still unconscious guards.
Let's leave their uniforms with them.
Cool. So they're naked, but they have clothes next to them. Um, and you run back to school.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Now, DM, can you tell me if the veins and the black hair and stuff stayed permanent? Or
No,
okay,
but you do get a bet. You have gotten a better look at whatever possessed you. You saw the figure of a black-haired elf.
all right.
Cool. So, for the rest of y'all, What do you are now back in school? What do you do?
Muradin is being annoyed. Like, he's glad we're all not dead, but he's like, okay, Nooks, your patron forced us to liberate these artifacts. What do we do with them?
Can I ask my patron, DM?
Send them back home.
They're telling me to send them back home.
How do we avoid them being traced back to us?
I'll just kind of be the messenger DM between them.
Send
So
them.
I'm taking
Send.
what Jackson. Sorry.
Give them to your parents. They will be able to do it discreetly.
My patron's telling me to give them to my parents because they'll know how to deal with it discreetly.
Okay.
Yes, we should absolutely tell our parents about this. But also, we need to tell them about whatever that transformation was. What was that?
I'm pretty sure it was my patron. I'm not sure though.
You're not sure.
I'm
And you
pretty
let it
sure
take
it was my
control of you?
patron though.
We need to have a conversation.
All right.
Tempest walks off, like into her
Oh,
room.
right. Cal, you and Tempest can get some rest. Nooks and I will make our way discreetly to their house to offload these artifacts to their parents.
I was saying that was something that Tempest would do.
Yeah, I live there.
Yeah.
Well, I just assumed if she was going off to her room, she wouldn't be in the mood for it.
We're taking the stolen artifacts with our parents, but this is a family conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then, Cal can stay. He doesn't really need to be there for this.
Nor do you.
I have the bag with all this stuff in it. It's my bag.
That is true.
If you want to come, you can. I just thought you'd appreciate the rest and want to avoid.
Yeah, I'll come with. Family time with the twins.
Yeah.
Then I guess we're all going. Just try to not wake
So,
up Bear.
so you go to the family shop. It's the middle of the night.
Right?
Do you knock on the door?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, hi. What do you need?
Mom,
Our
Dad, these are our friends from school. We have some stuff.
We need to
Okay.
have a little talk, to say the least.
Okay. Come on in.
So we'll all go in.
Alrighty. What do you need, kids?
Urudin places his bag on the table and shakes it out so all the artifacts land out.
Oh, where'd you get these?
The new museum.
Oh,
Some rich guy stole them from our ancestral home. We stole them back.
oh. Okay. Do you need us to send them back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need you to send them back discreetly.
DM, would there be a possible situation after this where Nooks, well, not really, I think the whole group can discuss this, where they can sit down and discuss what the fuck is happening with Nooks' veins and like the whole transformation stuff? Because I know Tempest wanted to discuss that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Hilda's just kind of awkwardly sitting there, not sure what to do in such a fancy family home. It is probably just a normal family home.
Yeah, it's just a normal family home.
By
That's
Hell's
fancy by
standards,
his
it's fancy.
Look, if you need to have a family time, we can give you some space.
I look over at Tempest, kind of looking at, seeing what they want.
Yeah, that would probably be best.
Yeah.
Alright, come along, Cal. This is a conversation we don't really need to be here for.
Yeah. Kel just follows Muradin.
So
Sure
Nooks,
thing.
Nooks is gonna kind of Nooks will do the best to explain that she can. She'll be like, so a little while ago, probably a weeks ago, these black veins started appearing in my arms, and I wasn't gonna say anything about them because I didn't think anything about them. But apparently, during a recent fight, there was a odd transformation I had. All I could see was some dark shadow elf entity that kind of possessed me. Tempest, do you want to go ahead and explain what happened because you could actually see this?
It was insane. Her veins went pitch black. Her hair was completely like moving on its own. The blade grew and was incredibly spikier and much less elven than it should have been. None of this is good, especially not for him. We can't keep letting this happen. Especially because you don't even know what it is, Nooks. You don't know what's possessing you.
I want to say it's my patron, but I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Mainly because I heard them whisper to me before it just sort of happened.
Oh, believe me, I heard them too. Terrifying. That is not something you want in control of your body.
What should we do?
Um, well, to be fair, not a situation me or your father have exactly dealt with before, but I would I would suggest um you have always had an odd ancestor connection ever since the ceremony. You never really told us what happened there, sweetheart. And it's not our place to know. It's your ancestor connection. It's a private affair. But in light of all of this, maybe we should talk about what happened.
So, as far as I remember, I went, if we're talking the coming of age ceremony, I went into the tree and it was pitch black. It felt like I was climbing through this tree for hours upon years on end. And my whole garb got beat up. I was deathly tired until I saw almost, I think it was a dark elf who, well, the whole time this is going on, there was a voice calling me and telling me to keep going. And when I got to the top, saw a dark elf who handed me my scimitar, aka how I use magic, and that's how it went.
Okay, did this elf tell you who they were? Um
And I'm actually looking up the name. Uh, yeah, they said their name was Alaxoth or something like that.
okay, I have never heard of that ancestor. That's that's not to say you did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Um, I just am worried about you, sweetheart.
I know. And this thing is, this isn't a situation I have any control over, so it's not like I really can do anything because if I give up my patron, then if I give up my hexblade, or if I give up my weapon, then I have, which I think is the cause of this, I have no magic, basically. And so.
You could be a wizard. Just learn from books. Listen, this thing is not good for you. And I think deep down you know that.
Now,
Is Nux able to take a second at the table and try to communicate with her patron there?
sure.
So Nux will take a second to try to talk to her patron and be like, what is this? Is I don't even know anymore. Like, what's going on?
You are in service to an order older than many parts of elven society. So old that many of our ancestors have been forgotten. And
I just don't.
when one of us is in danger, sometimes the others will attempt to help. These are elves who have already transformed and have already held their weapons for a long time.
My family is just worried about me, and it's not becoming something I can, like, the veins I can just kind of shrug off. Everyone's growing, like, all of my classmates who saw that are going to become worried about me, and I know this transformation is going to continue, so I don't know what I can keep telling them. Because whenever I tell them it's you, they think it's dangerous, some sort of bad connection, and that this is going to end up being bad for me, and I just don't know what to do.
Did you think this was safe?
I mean, I know it wasn't safe, but I didn't know it would cause everyone to become worried about me, and I was young at the time. I've taken this pact when I was younger. I don't know.
Young child, this path you walk was never one that was going to be safe. There was never a chance that you were going to live a safe and easy life. We offered you power in exchange for service. I don't think you understand that arrangement. You don't get to leave.
Oh, man.
Hang on. I know, and I I guess I forgot about, like, there were so many positive aspects to it that I forgot that there are very many unsafe.
That we are not your friend, that we are not your family, that we are using you for our own gains. You are a tool to our order, to these shadow entities. You are not some child to us, a student who will be nurtured. You are an you are the sword that we use to cut parts of the universe we don't like out. Did you think we were your friend?
I never thought you were my friend, but I don't like. I can't just. This isn't some because now when I go back, everyone's gonna want to know what the hell happened, and I'm assuming if I continue to work with you, it's going to get worse.
We do not force you to use your powers. We offer them, and you use them.
Also, out of character DM, I sent you a message that I what I sent you a message and I want to know. Okay, hang on.
DM, has Nook's been quiet this entire time?
Yeah, they've been like meditating the entire time.
Look, I know this is a sad thing, but I care too much about my family to let them see me go through a process like this that could potentially end up hurting me more. So I don't know if I will be able to keep working with you.
I think I need to remind you, you don't get a choice. There is no choice to this. You accepted the contract. You accepted the sword. You are as bound to it as it is to you. But go ahead. Try to put the sword down. Go adventuring a few days without it. I mean, the lack of power alone will probably kill you, but try it. Try to not have the
So
sword with
during
you.
this conversation, how strong is a hexblade or the scimitar? Is this something that can be easily broken?
No. No.
I'm just trying to think of what to do here.
You would need to study a lot more to figure out how to get out of this deal, if you wanted to.
So it's not something I can just say I can get out of and
No.
then. Oh, okay. Um. So Nooks will have the conversation come to the end as it. They'll close up the conversation, and I think Nooks is going to talk to Tempest about how this isn't a contract that Nooks wants to be a part of anymore. Um, but she doesn't know how she's going to get out of it.
Tempest is going to look at them and be like, oh, well, at least I'm glad you've come to your senses. Don't worry. If there's anyone who can get you out of this, it's me. I know you better than anyone on this planet. I'm here for you, and I always will be. Plus, we have our parents, and pretty much every ancestor ever. You're going to get out of this. Can she try and break the I know it's not going to work, but can she try and break the scimitar?
Sure.
Cool.
Also try DM.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to use a 3rd level shatter.
Okay.
And can Nooks like assist with that?
No, it's a spell. You can't assist with the spell.
Okay.
Normally it would be a constitution save of 15, but I don't know. Do that as you will.
It succeeds.
God, are you serious? Okay. So that's 48 thunder damage halved. That is not a lot of damage. So that's 6 points of thunder damage.
Yeah, the sword doesn't even react.
Can I possibly tell Nooks' parents, tell my parents about this and be like, is there any way you could help?
I, um, not right now. I don't know of anything we can do.
So wait, DM, if I were to leave my scimitar at this house, go back to school, it can't affect me.
You can try that.
Can I? Can I like bury it somewhere?
Sure.
Then Nooks will do that.
Okay.
I'm interested to see where you're going with it.
Yeah,
This
I'm
goes.
scared what the DM is gonna do with this.
You wake up and it's there, probably.
Yeah, no. Just throw it in the ocean, so I don't know.
All right. So you go back to the dorm?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Well, in that case, you head back and go to sleep. Nooks, you have a lot of trouble getting to sleep. Like, a lot. And when you finally do pass out, you feel like, I don't know, something's off. Like there's this itching that you need to scratch.
All right.
Tempest.
Mm.
What about them?
Tempest, you wake up in the middle of the night. Everything's kind of dark. The door out of your room, which is usually closed, is just slightly ajar.
Okay. Would I have gotten a long rest by then?
We'll say yeah.
Okay. Detect thoughts allows me to hear the thoughts of any like thinking creature within range, even if I can't see them.
Your
So
magic's not
that's
working right now.
oh wow, that's not good. Okay. Um, she is going to grab her scimitar and very slowly make her way towards the door.
All right. You grab it and you slowly work your way to the door. And you look outside. There's nothing outside. It's just the normal dining kind of common room. And as you go to close the door, all of a sudden, you feel like something's behind you. And you don't
Fuck.
want to turn around.
Okay.
So did Nooks
You-
like join a cult when she signed this contract?
She
Or like the mafia of some
Everything,
sort?
or not everything.
we are not the
Peyton,
same.
Peyton.
Um,
Shh. Shh.
Tempest, feeling this presence behind her, is going to close her door and then wait a bit and just say, "Look, I know you're there. What do you want?"
Turn around.
Okay.
DM.
Having absolutely no answer.
Well, no, the cat on my side meowed, so.
How terrifying.
Me all along, no.
Tempest is just gonna swing her scimitar backwards, like towards where she feels the presence.
You don't connect with anything. Do you turn around to swing it?
Yeah.
Okay. You swing, and you barely miss the creature standing in front of you. Its dark blue skin and tattered cloak, and the eyes, those terrible, terrible yellow eyes, and that grinning mouth that stretches too far across his face. The Oni stands in front of you, smiling a hungry smile. And you wake up, drenched in sweat. This is the fourth night this week you've had this dream. And that's where we're going to end it today. It's been wonderful playing today with y'all. Thank you all for joining us. If you aren't, please follow. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It really does help. Please hit the like button. We love all of y'all who watch. You really do help us out. And it's lovely to get to share this with y'all. Bye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.